Hey, what's up, everyone? I am trying to connect with some of my law enforcement friends out in... Hey, what's up, guys? I'm trying to connect with some of my law enforcement friends who are out in California and to get some kind of insider information on what's going on at YouTube. Apparently, there was an active shooter at the YouTube headquarters, and San Francisco General Hospital has confirmed that they are receiving patients. So it's pretty confirmed it happened, and it's pretty confirmed that there are multiple victims. This video is going to get demonetized. Yeah, it is. All right, first thing I want to say is don't make any jokes about this, okay? You guys know YouTube's not my favorite people, but don't make any jokes about this. The shooting is already over. Yeah, I think it's already over, but we're just trying to figure out more of what's going on. What I'm doing is, like I said, I'm trying to contact some of my law enforcement friends out there, some of my connections, and see what is going on. Active shooter. Here we go. Here's a live stream. We can watch this together. We'll turn this on in the background. But
200 people in the building. You think right now, I didn't see them come out. I saw police keep going in, keep going in. I saw the YouTube employees come back out. They all had their hands in the air because they didn't know who was who, and they brought them all across the street. And that's what I saw.
That's what you saw. But you still hadn't seen the officers, the number of officers you saw go into that building. You say that you did not see them come out because you've been pretty close to the scene for the last hour or so.
Yeah, I was right across the street the whole time. I mean, they kept going in, you know, strategically went in, and they did not come out. I mean, maybe a couple did, but I didn't see the majority of them come out.
All right. Well, Steve Dempsey, thank you so much for your account of what happened. Steve also shared some videos with us that you took at the scene, close to the scene. So we'll have that for you here coming up shortly as we can get them to you. Just a lot of information coming in. We're hoping to speak to authorities at some point here so we can get an official word of what's happening inside the building, what happens next. But we'll let you know when we do hear back from them.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andre. It appears as though while this shooting happened there at the YouTube headquarters or perhaps outside of it, a lot of people there at that Carl's Jr., which is right near the headquarters, saw what was going on.
All right, this is something we haven't seen, Heather. I just wanted to point this out. We have not seen
you guys think this might be
before. That was a blown-out window. Looked like in the front of the building. So I just wanted
banning all the gun channels. Are there new gun rules? And someone got disgruntled.
Really, real positive, concrete sign that
someone's channel got demonetized.
Aside from these eyewitness reports.
And what I was sort of going back to is that the folks that were at Carl's Jr. obviously just, grabbing a bite to eat were suddenly in the midst of this. We're hearing from witnesses who were treating at least one woman, hearing that either shot in the leg, shot in the foot, trying to stop the bleeding and help her get treatment. Another witness you heard just a short time ago telling our Jesse Gary there that he saw at least two people get shot, perhaps one inside, one outside. He says he heard about 3 different series of gunfire. The first was a couple of shots.
I've seen some reports saying that it was a female shooter.
He estimated as many as 10 to 11 shots fired, another pause, and then another burst of gunfire, possibly 3 shots fired at that time.
We got new information, too. We now have a request for the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services to respond to San Bruno, and we also are getting word that there's a place called the Hashes and Brews restaurant next to YouTube. They are telling KTVU that 3 victims ran inside the restaurant about 45 minutes ago. One was struck or skimmed by a bullet in the head. The second person was shot in the ankle, and the third person was shot in the hand. KTVU's Maureen Naylor is on her way to Stanford Medical Center, where, Maureen, we understand 4 or 5 patients have been brought. Do you have any new information on that?
Well, Ken, I just spoke with a hospital spokeswoman from Stanford Medical Center.
If you guys make jokes about this, you're going to get banned, including whoever just gave me that super chat. Cameron, you're banned.
She had very limited information. All she would say is that they're expecting that number of patients, and she said at this point, no word on their conditions. To give you an idea, the Stanford Medical Center is about 23 miles away from the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno. It's about a 30-minute drive. We are working our way to the medical center and hope to bring you more information as soon as we get it.
Yeah, once I heard going to Stanford, my immediate impression was that those injuries probably weren't not as serious as those who went to San Francisco General Hospital, which is much closer.
Saying it's
of course,
a female.
has a trauma center there, and it's well known for its response to emergencies. So
I'm going through all my law enforcement groups trying to find more information about this.
They wouldn't be as seriously injured if they're going to Stanford. And how far out do you think you are, Maureen, from Stanford right now?
We're about
Thanks, Shadow.
10 minutes away. And like
all right,
we
so
were
if you're
talking
just
about,
jumping on here, we're just kind of looking at the live coverage, and I'm contacting law enforcement friends out in California trying to figure out what's going on. Someone walked into the YouTube headquarters and started shooting it up.
To try to get the victims out, and like you said, you would expect that there would be the less headed there. We do expect to be there in 10 minutes, and I will be in touch with the hospital and hope to be posting updates, both bring them to you on air and on Twitter.
All right, thank you so much, Maureen. As Maureen makes her way to Stanford, where again she's letting us know of the number of victims that are going to be treated there. Want to remind you that SF General, obviously with the trauma center, treating 3 to 5 victims there as well. So that just gives you an idea of the number of people impacted by this. And as we heard from those at Carl's Jr., it appears as though at least one person was shot in the leg or the foot. So not as serious, but when you talk
a few
about
minor
the
injuries,
businesses who also had people run inside with gunshot wounds, that gives you an idea of the number of victims.
Senator Feinstein just put out this tweet we want to show you. My stomach sinks with yet another active shooter alert. I'm praying for the safety of everyone at YouTube headquarters. She, of course, has unique perspective on shootings, becoming mayor of San Francisco after the assassination of Mayor Moscone. And, of course, she sponsored and got past the assault weapons ban, largely due in part to the 101 California Street shooting back in the 90s. At the time, and still may be, the worst mass shooting in San Francisco history. I believe it was 7 or 9 people who were shot and killed at 101 California, the office tower there in the heart of the financial district.
You're just jumping in. Someone walked into the YouTube headquarters and started shooting people.
Very passionate, very
active. We're trying to just figure out more about
gun control legislation.
The shooter at YouTube headquarters is described as a woman. This is coming from multiple news sources. Don't believe this until police come out with their official statement.
What is the situation in San Bruno? We understand police are looking for at least one active shooter. That's from the San Bruno city manager. We're still trying to put together how many people are injured, adding up the number of people who've been sent to Stanford, San Francisco General, and one at Kaiser in San Francisco. We're talking about 10 or 11 at least people who may have been shot.
10 or 11 who may have been shot. You guys hear that?
We're trying to wrap our heads around that and get the...
Hold on, let's turn the live stream off for a minute. Listen to this. Again, we have a subject. What is this? 911 dispatch. Let's listen to this real quick.
Shots fired to the rear of 901 Cherry Avenue. We're receiving numerous 911. So far, nothing's seen, just heard only. We have one RP stating that people are running out of the business.
So you got people running out of YouTube.
Sounds like it's coming from YouTube. Shooter. Another party says they spotted someone with a gun. Suspect came from the back patio. Again, we have a report of subject with a gun. They heard 7 to 8 shots being fired. This will be from the YouTube building.
Damn, dude. All right. Let's go back to the live stream. It looks like, what is this? Fox has the best live stream we can find
from
so
some
far.
of those police dispatch calls, as mentioned.
You got
Here's what
one
they had to
officer
say
down
about
there.
possible suspect and the gun. And you're also going to hear them talk about X-ray. That means female when they're talking about the suspects. Here we go.
Possible they have an X-ray suspect down.
We just listen to this.
At 901 Cherry.
Suspect down.
With a gun that's recovered. They're still looking for a male.
Shooter down. Oh, there was 2.
They're on the male as soon as possible. Again, they have a possible X-ray suspect down at 901
Possible female
Cherry.
suspect down.
Gun has been recovered.
Damn.
Well, there you go. Police dispatchers also said that we're receiving a lot of calls from employees, as I mentioned, who had barricaded themselves in offices and conference rooms waiting for the all clear, not knowing exactly what went on. As you might imagine, social media has picked up on this, and a number of the folks
so you guys think this has
YouTube building itself were posting.
You guys think this has anything to do with the gun ban that YouTube did on April 1st, where you can no longer promote gun channels and
Twitter page.
you know, you can't show the assembly of firearms? Do you think it's a disgruntled, crazy person? Someone that didn't like that? I mean, I think it's a distinct possibility. It comes 2 days after they implemented those changes.
First thought it was an earthquake. After exiting the room, we still didn't know what was going on, but more people were running.
And again, this is speculation, guys. None of this is confirmed. We're just discussing it.
The exit, then saw more people, and someone said that there was a person with a gun. Explicative. Police cruisers pulling up, hopped out with rifles, ready. And I told them
I'm still waiting
where
for some of my California
was as I headed down the street to meet up with a couple of my fellow team members. At that point, every new person I saw was a potential shooter. Someone else said that the person shot out the back doors. And later, this same tweeter said that he got off the campus and finally got home safely. So a lot going on in just one man's view of a very difficult day in San Bruno. And right now,
still waiting on my California
trying to get more information. We will continue to look at social media, and we'll have updates soon. Back to you.
Yeah, Frank, a very chaotic and frightening day, and it's not over yet. But we do have new information from the San Bruno city manager. She says no further threat to the community. Press release coming out in 15 minutes.
All right, so the shooters are shooters down. They said it might have been a man and a woman, but it sounded like the police scanner said.
Information covered, and the good news, no.
It sounded like they said the female shooter was down and a gun was recovered.
In which you hear them
and of course, in these active shooter situations, that's not always
about and
true. The first thing you hear, of course.
Being a woman. So that's
think of how many times the story changed over the next few days when the Florida shooting happened.
What took place here, but again, the headline from what we're hearing when police are responding to this and broadcasting to all of the fellow officers and law enforcement is that a gun was recovered, suspect down. And when you hear from Connie Jackson, the city manager of San Bruno, saying no further threat to the community, one can assume that that was the only suspect involved in this shooting.
Put all those pieces together, and that's what you come up with. And Frank was talking about.
Yeah, but if you put all those pieces together from multiple sources who were panicking and running around, you're going to get shit wrong.
Some pictures of the glass door that looked like it had been shattered by gunfire. Not sure it was gunfire. And then another tweet. This coming from House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi of
I'm
San
trying to find
Francisco.
more information on this as we go.
Are closely following developments from the active shooter situation at YouTube headquarters in San Bruno. Thank you to our heroic first responders, our Bay Area community, and all American communities deserve real action to end gun violence. So here we go with the political aspects of this. But again, the Bay Area, no stranger to catastrophe.
YouTube shooter is a female and she is down.
From these kinds
that is
of
a new one, dude.
We've had
I can't remember
our San Francisco city leaders,
female active shooter,
Moscone, Harvey Milk. The list can go on and on, but here we are again with another mass shooting in America.
You don't know if it's a mass shooting yet. Thank you, sir.
Chief is expected to make a statement. That's expected to happen at about 2:30. Right now, that he's asking all of the media to sort of set up and get ready for that.
Soon.
Well, we expect to find out more. But all indications are right now that the suspect involved in this shooting is either dead or has been taken into custody. That's why police now feel like they can give updates on exactly what happened. And to recap, for those who are just now joining us, if you take a look at the number of people being treated at area hospitals, whether that be Stanford, SF General, or Kaiser, it adds up to between 9 and 11 people.
Oh yeah, you guys are right. San Bernardino. It was the husband and wife. Yep. Thanks for reminding me of that, guys. That one, I think I mentioned that in one of my militarization of police videos because they used a Bearcat to get close to him.
From the public affairs people there, Paul, do you have anything?
PIO has not come out yet, but I do know at least one male
Eradicator.
victim.
Yeah, I got that too. Another mass shooting in America.
He was one of the first people brought in. He was brought in by San Mateo AMR, and also the other
dude.
That came in was
and also shooting up a place as progressive and liberal as the YouTube headquarters. We're gonna hear about the gun control stuff for
But one of the
forever now,
did say that
the next few weeks.
Here at San Francisco General Hospital is on lockdown. We're still waiting for more information about that. And as I said,
if you're just jumping in here, they're saying a female suspect walked into the YouTube headquarters, started shooting it up. They said there's multiple victims. And she is down and they have recovered a gun. But I think that's confirmed now.
It's not because it's from San Francisco.
And we were talking about the last female shooter that we can remember was 2015, San Bernardino. It was a couple, a husband and a wife. I think they were radical Islamics, I think. And they went into a Christmas party, their work Christmas party, and shot a bunch of people.
At least
they
one
killed
of the victims is a man, and again, as I said at the top of this, San Francisco General Hospital's emergency ward is on lockdown. Still not sure exactly why.
At first, they were saying it was two shooters at this one, a man and a woman. But now they're saying it's just a woman.
About that because
the police chief is going to give a statement in about 8 minutes.
We've been talking about that may have been shot
they're
out.
They're really concerned with this
you can see the
fucking
broken
door
glass and everything. We had the one audio description from, actually it was a tweet. With a person describing a shooter who shot out the back door while apparently trying to flee the building. And just to let you know, we are expecting a news briefing at 2:30, so we're about 7 minutes away.
Let me remind you,
minutes away from a news briefing with
don't
the
make
San
jokes
Bruno
about this.
Police
Don't make
Chief
demonetization
to
jokes.
give us the very latest. We should have some really
don't do any
hard,
of
firm
that.
information
I will ban
at
you.
that time. So we're about 7 or 8 minutes away from finding out really what the heck is going on here, what's going on with the shooter, how many people were shot, the status of everyone involved.
And as we take a look at that tweet that we heard that Frank Malico brought us a short time
here's
ago,
something new.
It was from someone inside the building describing what they heard.
All right, they're slow. I'm faster than them because look what I found. A woman reportedly shot her boyfriend at the YouTube headquarters. Witnesses say around 20 shots were fired. Well, it said the shots from the people who ran into the Hardys from the YouTube building were shot in like the ankles and the legs and stuff. So maybe it was just crossfire from the woman shooting her boyfriend. And the news reporter's already saying mass shooting, dude.
Hey, but we've seen countless tweets like people inside the building saying that they
That's what he hopes it is. The news guy hopes it's a mass shooting. You can't believe they don't have guards? That's what I was asking on Twitter. Does anyone know if YouTube has armed guards? I'm going to say they probably don't.
of this was happening.
Well, as you talked about, many companies now are going through these active shooter drills, and that one person said that it was clear early on this was not a drill, this was a real thing. And we're going to hopefully find out from the San Bruno police chief here in the next couple minutes how this all unfolded, because we're hearing that there was some kind of event going on in a conference room, some kind of celebration perhaps, a party, maybe it was a going away, a promotion, we don't know, but some kind of an event, and it sounds like the shooting began inside the YouTube headquarters and then spilled to the outside of the building.
Reports
so
say he was informed by authorities that there were fatalities involved.
5 houses down. Also, we heard from a woman who works in the Walmart building that is across the street. Both of them saying that they heard a
female
burst
suspect
of perhaps half a dozen or so gunshots.
Chicago.
The woman who was outside her house said that she heard a pause and then more gunshots sounding like they were moving away from her house. So peculiar situation. Was this a running, moving, shooting situation where victims were being targeted inside and outside?
The reporters are at a point right now where they don't have any more information on what's going on. So they're just talking out their asses.
Letting everyone know that there was no
Tear
longer a
talk,
threat
what'd you
to
say,
the
bud?
public. You can also
Let's hope
see
everyone is okay. You heard 5
right
possible
now in the
victims.
demeanor
First
of law
responders deserve more
enforcement,
respect. Yeah, man.
Other officials who
Thanks for the super
responded
chat,
to this.
everyone.
It is almost as if there is a little bit of a sense of relief as they get ready to leave this scene.
See, so they don't have any new information, so they keep showing the broken door and talking about mass shootings, even though it hasn't been confirmed it's a mass shooting.
That sort of, we need to get in there, figure this out. It appears as though that initial threat is over.
Anyone know what gun was used?
The city manager that
We have not
no
heard that yet.
Take a look at this map, because this gives you an idea.
But I hope everyone's okay.
We're talking about the neighboring businesses, the people nearby who either got their cell phones out and recorded what they were seeing, or called us here at KTVU to tell us what they were seeing going on. There's the YouTube headquarters.
People are really
there,
trying to
and
use this to spread their politics right now. That's pretty sickening.
And a couple of neighboring businesses. We've spoken to people at the Carl's Jr. It appears, Ken, that the people at that Carl's Jr. really had, and I hate to say this, but a sort of a first-hand account of what was going on.
Very sad
it
situation.
seems as though there was at least some
shut down a lot of
shooting
gun
that they were able to see.
Yeah, I agree.
A couple of victims ran into the Carl's Jr. looking for help. We heard from one witness who says he actually grabbed a bungee cord to try to stop the bleeding on a woman who was either shot in the leg or the foot and then taken to the hospital.
This goes with my what I say about tourniquets, man. That's why you should always carry a tourniquet in your vehicle or your backpack.
She told you
never know when you're going to use it.
Yeah, she said she heard 7 shots. She specifically said 7 shots and then silence. And she said she looked out the window and she saw people running out of the YouTube building with their hands in the air. And then the Hashes and Brews restaurant you see down there near San Bruno Avenue off of Cherry, that's where we had people tell us that 3 victims ran inside that restaurant. One skinned by a bullet to the head, another shot in the ankle, and a third shot
belt makes an
in the
okay
hand.
tourniquet.
So the Carl's
a belt
and the
makes
Hashes
a
and
crappy
Brews
tourniquet.
are 2 locations
Get a tourniquet
where gunshot victims fled
and don't put it on someone's
after the
neck.
shooting, made their way trying to get help, and people at those restaurants rendered first aid to help those people out. out. So traumatic situation.
And we are getting some new information. This really coming in just a moment ago. I mentioned seeing that body covered with a yellow tarp there at the scene. Well, we are now getting confirmation from the San Mateo County coroner that that office has indeed been requested to respond to the YouTube headquarters, the scene of this shooting, the scene of this active shooter situation.
Yeah, I hope
they would not
okay,
elaborate
but it looks like
on
they got one
exactly
fatality.
what they're being called for, but one can assume the coroner only responds to a scene when there is, in fact, at least one person dead.
Did she really just say that? Did the reporter really just say the coroner responds to dead bodies?
Hear from the San Bruno police
Do people have to be told that?
To update us on the ongoing situation.
All right, so recap real quick. What they're saying is a female walked into the YouTube headquarters and shot her boyfriend. There has been confirmed fatalities. That's what they're saying. Don't take my word for this. You know the rumors are all over the place. The police chief is about to.
Indeed, it is.
Thanks, buddy. The police chief is about to.
Love your videos.
Thanks,
Prayers to the victims involved in the latest situation.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Police chief's about to brief everyone. Sorry, that was hard to get out, huh?
You know, this wasn't a school kind of situation. This is a workplace environment. So, you know, what prompted this person? Was it an employee? Was it somebody who knew somebody who worked there? Was it random just coming in off the street? A lot of questions that really we want to get to the heart of.
There were tweets saying it was a girl that shot her boyfriend
up. Who was the person with the gun? How did they get the gun?
I'm just refreshing tweets because that's usually one of the best ways to get like word on the street information.
Purchase or have this firearm.
You know, a good place to get information also.
As this moves forward.
And a key piece of all of this, as we
a good tourniquet. You guys were asking me what a good tourniquet was.
Again, we're coordinating their response.
They're still just talking out their butts. Good tourniquet is the soft T tourniquet. Watch my police gear video. I just put up a video the other day called Police Gear. It's soft T tourniquet, and then I like the rat's tourniquet. I'm not a big fan of the cat. That might be able to link someone to that gun. So that will be obviously some key questions that they'll get from this key piece of evidence. So I mean, they were definitely. It sounds like first responders got there. How many suspects? One so far. Hold on.
Yeah, guys, I've been talking to some witnesses who do not want to go on camera, but one told me that, as you've been saying, the shooter is a woman, and that she apparently killed herself after what they believe shooting her boyfriend. We don't have any confirmation from police. Police are being very tight-lipped. I believe you said that the San Bruno police chief is going to be actually holding a presser and putting out the fine details to this. But what I'm hearing from witnesses, A, the shooter was a woman, B, that she may have taken her own life after shooting her boyfriend. We do not know what precipitated the violence, though, guys.
Jesse, do you know how these people know this information? Did they witness any of this?
A lot of these
it sounds like a lover's spat or something like that. She shot her boyfriend and offed herself from what he just said. But that is not confirmed yet. Remember, these active shooter situations, people are throwing accusations all over the place. I think we can safely say it was a woman and she's down.
What's the connection here? Do you know?
I haven't gotten that. I'm guessing that one or both worked at YouTube, but I don't know because, as we said earlier,
my wife works as a contractor at Google. Not been a fun morning.
And so maybe that's how she was able to get in. But again, I don't have the exact tie between YouTube and the shooter, but we're still working on it, Jen.
All right, checking Jesse, my law enforcement
whenever
groups
you
again.
talk to these people, did they describe themselves as YouTube employees, or again, as you say, just people in the area who witnessed some of the chaos that ensued?
A lot of these people are people who were in the area, who witnessed the chaos, who were close enough to either hear the rounds or see people running or help people to safety, etc. So that's where we're getting a good portion of our information. A lot
Just
of the YouTube
drink your weeds and smoke your beers responsibly. Love your live streams.
Show law enforcement that they are not a threat, and that's kind of standard procedure these days.
Yeah, you know, someone mentioned it in chat. I just saw it fly by. It's so ridiculous how people are already using this to push their own politics. I'm sitting here worrying about the people that got shot, but you should see Twitter blowing up with people like, this is why we should ban all the guns. And then, don't make fun of this, by the way. I'll ban you from chat. So.
one woman went into the Carl's Jr. and we've just got some new video that we will try to get into as soon as we can. But from a cell phone video of one of the people in Carl's Jr. when that woman was brought in, and there's a cluster of people tending to her on top of one of the tables in the corner.
This is real. YouTube HQ got attacked, but it started coming out as it came out as an active shooter, which it was an active shooter situation. But it sounds like it was a female that went in, shot her boyfriend to death. A few more people were hit by some rounds, some crossfire, stray rounds. Excuse me, words are hard today. Stray rounds, and she killed herself. That's what they're saying. And they said a weapon was recovered at the scene.
And then killed herself. That is according to people who
I'm still waiting for some law enforcement contacts in California to get back to me. Maybe I'll have more information than these goofballs.
To Jesse.
And now let's get an update now from our Paul Chambers. He is live outside San Francisco General with an update on the number of people being treated there. Paul?
Yes, it's 3 people, 2 females and 1 male. You can see the public information officer's right here behind us. He just gave us updated information. 1 person in fair condition, 1 person in serious condition, and 1 person is in critical condition. The person that's in critical condition is the man. And we're told that he's 37 years old. And the other person is also, one of the women's in her 30s, and the other woman is in her 20s. Now, they plan to have a press conference to give us more details.
Well, so she went in and she shot her boyfriend. He's in critical, but then another woman is in serious condition.
One in fair, 1 in serious, and 1 in critical condition. They also say they're also bringing additional patients to come to this hospital.
Okay, so there's more people coming in.
Now, I also told you earlier about it being under lockdown. The hospital,
boyfriend hasn't died yet. It says he's in critical condition so far.
But I was explaining this is
are my friends at the scene? Yeah, but they're probably worrying more about policing things than texting donut back. I don't blame them.
That's the reason why they are under the lockdown situation. Once again, at 3:30, they'll have an updated information with more about exactly the seriousness of each person's injuries. But as I said right now, 1 is critical, 1 serious, and 1 is in fair condition.
Paul, did that person give you any indication on how many more patients might be going to SF General?
We asked that question. He would not elaborate. He just said there are more patients coming. We've been out here for about an hour almost now, and we haven't seen any additional cars or ambulances coming here. We're about 9 miles from the actual
tornado
scene,
outside your house. Oh, no, Micah. Sorry, man.
Coming at that
Be
time,
safe.
and of course, when we find that out, we'll let you
Being
know.
a crime of passion? It looks like it's a crime of passion.
Surgeon out here to give us detailed information.
Thanks, Frosty Wolf.
And
I really
again,
appreciate
I know
it, bud.
that they're sort of working all of this out, but did the person say if the man, the 37-year-old man who's in critical condition, if he had been shot more than 1 time?
I would not elaborate on that. We asked him a lot of those questions. He basically said that he wouldn't give us those details.
So how long ago did this happen? Like an hour ago. All right, so we got a woman that walked in the YouTube HQ, shot her boyfriend. It sounds like her boyfriend is in critical condition. There's a woman in serious condition, and then there's another woman who's in stable condition.
It is now 2:34.
So that's what's going on right now.
They still may be getting...
But they said they're bringing more people in. And if they're not already there, it must not be that serious, from what I'm guessing. I'm talking to some law enforcement people, some of my friends out there in California right now, trying to get a little bit more information. These goobers in suits can tell us.
It appears we have a female shooter who was at the YouTube headquarters or some kind of celebration or event inside the building, and apparently she had targeted a boyfriend. This is all from information that is getting passed on to our reporters at the scene, and this will be vetted by the police chief here momentarily, but apparently she was targeting her boyfriend, and the boyfriend was shot. We don't know that boyfriend's status at this point. Several other people were shot, as you're hearing from Paul Chambers and earlier from Maureen Naylor, where there are 3 to 5 other victims that were taken to Stanford. So we're now at least 6 victims,
6 victims
from gunshot wounds. And then the shooter, the woman, apparently shot herself. And we know that the San Mateo County coroner has been called to the scene. Whether or not it's just for the shooter who apparently shot herself or her and others. We are waiting to find out.
Hey, here it is. Here we go.
And a timeline of what we know now and where we're at this point. So if you'll bear with me, information is coming in. It's obviously a very fluid situation, and we're doing the best we can to keep everybody up to date. So at 12:46 p.m. this afternoon, San Bruno Police Department received numerous 911 calls regarding gunshots at the YouTube campus located on Cherry Avenue in our city. San Bruno Police arrived on scene at 12:48. and immediately began a search for a possible shooter or suspect. Upon arrival, officers encountered numerous employees fleeing
They
from
got
the
there
building.
fast. You guys hear
It
that?
was very chaotic, as you can imagine. We did encounter one victim with an apparent gunshot wound towards the front of the business as we arrived. Several minutes later, while conducting a search of the premises,
Swagger souls, they don't.
located a second individual with a gunshot wound that appears to may have been self-inflicted. We are still working on confirming that. 2 additional victims were located several minutes later at an adjacent business. The extent of all of the injuries of our victims are unknown right now. They were all transported for emergency medical care, but they are all unknown. So if I missed that, we have 4 victims who have all been transported for gunshot-related injuries, and we have one subject who is deceased inside the building with a self-inflicted wound that at this time we believe to be the shooter, but we're still following up on that. Multiple law enforcement agencies have responded to assist. We're very grateful for everyone's help and assistance. We could not have responded and accomplished this without everybody's help. This is an active event and an active investigation, and numerous law enforcement personnel from numerous different local agencies are still conducting a search of the business just to make sure that that it is clear. We conducted a quick, immediate search of the premises when the first officers arrived as pursuant to our active shooter protocol. And after that search was concluded, now we're going through with a methodical, slow search just to make sure that we cover all the bases. That's all I have for you at this time. We hope to have something a little later. I cannot give you, I cannot give you the time of the next press update, but we'll put that out as soon as we have that information.
She was saying,
I'm sorry? No, I cannot confirm that.
Okay, you can't confirm if there's a man and a woman.
It's a female.
It's a female. That was probably her under the yellow tarp.
My understanding is that they're being treated for injuries that are treatable. We're hoping for the best, obviously.
Are there more people inside the building, or?
My understanding is the building has been evacuated. There are people in the immediate area. We're obviously trying to contact a large amount of people.
God, people are blaming the NRA already.
Well, it looks like we may have temporarily lost the signal there. From
all right, Swagger Souls says armed guards will definitely deter shootings. That's why people shoot up places in mass shootings, which this is, I don't think this is considered a mass shooting. But mass shooters look for soft targets. California has some of the softest targets in the United States. But this sounds like more of like a lover's spat or something. She went in there and shot her boyfriend, then shot another woman, 2 more women, and then offed herself, and that was her under the tarp, I'm pretty sure.
Targeting her boyfriend at the YouTube headquarters. But he did say 4 other victims.
Still waiting to hear back from some of my
so we know
some of my
there are
law enforcement
3
contacts from out there.
Stanford said they're expecting 4 or 5. So now we need to clarify that. Maybe there are not as many victims as we were first told by the different hospitals. So now we're at 4 victims and 4 shooting victims with injuries, including 1 critical at San Francisco General, and then apparently the woman shooter who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
And we should note that perhaps the people who are being taken to other hospitals.
I'm heard a bunch of different victims. We heard there's 3 definitely more incoming.
Being shot, but from fallen glass, from trying to get out, the mad scramble to get to safety.
Well, Kaiser says it has 1
the boyfriend. I
patient with
think he's the one in critical condition.
That's not one that I would have been counting. But yeah,
the building has been evacuated, so they're all outside of that building.
Okay, how many people are you talking about here?
Well, several hundred, a few hundred. I'm sorry, a few hundred. It was my understanding.
In what floor was she
I don't know.
that's a signal that's been going in and out. There's a lot of interference in that area. And these are live pictures from Skyfox. People in the parking lot after the fact.
No word on what weapon was used,
so traumatic afternoon in San Bruno for employees at YouTube.
Now, absolutely. Now let's bring in our Jesse Gary, who has been talking to witnesses. And Jesse, what those witnesses are telling you matches up closely with what the
3
police
victims
chief
confirmed
is
in
telling
mass
us,
shooting.
although
3
he
dead.
would not go into great detail, but did tell us that
how rare is a female shooter?
Extremely rare. On the YouTube headquarters campus is believed to be the shooter, and that it is a female.
Guys, if you're just getting on here, the news people here informed us earlier that Coroners are dispatched for dead bodies. Thank you, Fox, for telling us that. So, what we have is Evo just uploaded a video concerning the event. People are crazy. People are crazy. What we have here so far, and I hope everyone's okay. What we have here is a woman walked into YouTube HQ, shot her boyfriend, shot 2 more women. The boyfriend's in critical condition. One of the women is in serious condition. One of them is in stable condition. They're at the hospital. There's more victims incoming. I don't think it's that serious if they're just now getting to the hospital. Maybe some minor injuries, some stray rounds hit them. They said there were a few people shot in the legs, ankles, minor wounds. And, I mean, that's pretty much what we have so far.
Boyfriend was the employee at YouTube, and that she came here targeting him, but shot other people as well, guys.
You know, one of the interesting or things we're trying to figure out here, Jesse, is that this apparently started inside with some kind of celebration or event and then spilled to the outside. We just heard the police chief say that the self-inflicted gunshot wound.
If you look at Twitter, people are already blaming this and using it for political gain.
From Skyfox of yellow tarp on a body that looked like it was outside. I don't know if it's just semantics. If
and Keemstar keeping us updated with breaking news.
Inside the structure or the compound or whatever. But the point is that somehow this is
yeah, it's very sad to see people already pushing a political agenda.
Yes, and as anyone would understand, as soon as bullets start flying, everyone's going to move, and people are going to run in all kinds of directions, particularly if they don't know where the shots are coming from, so they could actually run into the line of fire. But as we know, a lot of people ran across the parking lot this way in a, let's see, west-south direction from the YouTube headquarters south towards the Carl's Jr. and were helped inside that restaurant, that fast food restaurant, by patrons who were either outside getting ready to go in or patrons who were ordering on the outside at the speaker.
Hollywood celebrity blames the NRA for YouTube HQ shooting. Oh, of course he did. That guy.
Could get to them.
Wait till the bodies are cold thing. Wait till the investigation.
You know, it's just amazing.
People don't give a shit about people getting killed somewhere else. It doesn't affect them. If they can use it to push their agenda, they're going to. If they can use it to make money, push their agenda, whatever, they're going to, dude.
Rounds that people are telling us they heard, and you know, bullets. You know, they don't. They just go. They go until they hit something.
Yeah.
So it's very fortunate that more people weren't hurt or killed.
Jesse, did any of the YouTube employees talk at all about safety at the headquarters? Did they describe if there are metal detectors at the entrances, if there's security personnel? I do want to say that we are getting a tweet now from Google Communications telling employees in the Bay Area, obviously Google owning YouTube now, with meetings that are scheduled to stay away from this area, and that they've set up an employee helpline to obviously assist anyone with meetings or anyone affected by this. But again, going back to my question, Jesse, anyone talk about security at the YouTube headquarters?
Not specifically at the headquarters, but people did tell me there was a security guard, not necessarily an armed officer, but a security guard who was here on the Bay Hill kind of shopping plaza grounds. But there was no armed security, and some people are saying, you know, if there was armed security, maybe that would have made a difference. You know, we'll never know. But as far as security,
we'll never know if armed security would make a difference.
A lot of these tech companies have their own security. I mean, you know Google, you know Apple and Facebook. They, you can't just, say hi.
Somebody said, "What happened?"
Yeah.
A woman walked into. A woman walked into the YouTube headquarters, shot her boyfriend and 2 other women, and a few other people were hit by stray bullets. Boyfriend's in critical condition. One of the women's in serious. The other one's unstable.
The girlfriend of one of the victims, maybe that's how she was.
Oh, and then she killed herself.
We don't know. It's still too
She's
early.
dead at the
Jesse,
YouTube HQ.
Thank you.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Check back with you in a little bit. We want to go now to KTVU's Andre Sr., who was also at that news conference with the police chief. Andre, anything new?
Hey, how you doing? Let's still very active scene out here. Just a group passed us, and some of them were wearing YouTube logos. We're not sure how they're involved in this, but I can tell you the chief just said a short time ago that they have identified about 100 people who they want to question more about what happened inside that building as they continue their investigation. We're not sure if this group was part of the 100 people he talked about. He said those people were being questioned near the scene, but not inside the YouTube building at this point. Just to recap a little bit of what the chief said just a short time ago, he reiterated that 4 people were transported transported to the hospital. And he said that that at this particular point, what he can tell us is that their injuries are survivable. That's at least what he knows at this point. And that the deceased person inside that building is something that we'd heard earlier today from witnesses.
Just kind of the same stuff
is indeed
now,
a female, the suspect here, and did indeed die of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He could not tell us more beyond that.
We saw the
what type
female
of weapon
suspect
was used, where
with the,
this person
the tarp over
inflicted
the yellow
that
tarp.
wound on their body.
Did the girlfriend work there? They haven't said the girlfriend worked there.
At the hospital, the injury is survivable. That's what we know right now. They don't have much information beyond that to say that right now they're in the phase
kind of the same
questioning
thing right now.
about 100 people from this building. Most of the employees that were in that building have left on their own for the day. They have a separate staging area that they hadn't told us about yet, where they're holding the people who are there questioning as they proceed with this investigation right now. Ken, that is what we know. The chief says he will have another press conference sometime later tonight. Perhaps we will glean some new information.
I wonder what
weapon
she
inside of that
used.
building earlier today, as far as how the officials are handling it and what they're looking for in the investigation. Of course, a motivation as to what
whatever I can do to cut through the BS
and start shooting and injuring 4 people here. So hopefully we'll get some update that will give us some insight into what happened here in this very tragic situation that unfolded inside the YouTube headquarters here in San Bruno. Ken and Heather?
Yeah, Andre, I want to go back because you mentioned that the chief would not really discuss anything about the weapon used, but we did.
YouTube headquarters did not have a guard. They didn't have, I think he said they didn't have metal detectors, right?
Indicate that a gun had been recovered, but again, the police chief
gun has been recovered, but he is not elaborating on what kind of gun it is. I'm super interested in seeing what it was. Handgun, 100%. I don't know what to put here. Just enjoy. Thanks, Frosty Wolf. I appreciate it.
A crime of anything. This exposes and educates the unfamiliar what soft targets are and how they are for the coverage, and all you do down for what? The coroners come when there are dead bodies. WTF.
Right. If you guys missed it, the news people said earlier, they informed us that the coroner comes when there are dead bodies. Thanks. Thank you. If you're just getting here, woman mad at her boyfriend, went into YouTube HQ, shot him, shot 2 other women, stray bullets hit some other ones, then she turned the gun on herself, killed herself. Police were there in 2 minutes.
So when you got ATF involved, you have the gun experts, so they'll be able to find out.
Bye-bye, all YouTube gun channels said
about
Guevara.
that gun and how this woman
I don't know. I don't think, I don't know. No comment on that.
People that the sheriff
people are already playing the blame game. Yeah, people are already playing the blame game. You already got all these big personalities, pro-gun and anti-gun, on YouTube, or on Twitter, excuse me, pushing whatever stuff they believe in. I'm just on here really to talk to you guys about it, have an open discussion on what's going on, and I have law enforcement friends out there that I'm waiting to hear from. Of course, they're probably busy, and I may not even hear from them.
Ongoing investigation, but he didn't know what role they played leading up to this incident. Prior to that, he seemed very limited in the information that he was able to, that he perhaps knew or was able to share with us at this point, Ken. So it's still pretty fluid here. As you can see right behind me, we continue to see YouTube employees leave this, not necessarily the building, but at least in the area, because we were told,
soft target. Yeah.
People that were questioning were in some other facility up that
way. Thanks, Evo. I appreciate it,
Ken,
man.
We'll get some answer to that a little later on during the next
hopefully,
press conference. They haven't given us
hopefully
time yet for that, only saying
injured
that,
people pull through it. Like I said, there's one in critical, who was the boyfriend, we're thinking. One in serious, and then one who's stabilized.
Out while, you've obviously been talking to us, but they don't seem to be.
We've been trying.
Yeah, they don't seem to be. They just want to get out of there. Is the impression I'm getting.
Yes. So you're
Twitter
looking
is
at
a
them.
great place to get on-the-ground information.
The
when things like this happen, guys, thank you, Nirvana.
She didn't get monitored. That's why she did it, Kappa.
Scared or panicked, but they just didn't seem to want to talk. And
yeah.
to
just a tip to you guys: when stuff like this is happening, if you go on the Twitter and go to the search function and search for like wherever it happened, then a lot of times you'll get people who were on the ground or who were there and saw it, posting videos, posting pictures, talking about it. And if you just keep refreshing it, you can find a lot of breaking information that the news can't give you. Hold on. Hey, there's Ethan saying something about it. I just saw President Trump saying something about it too. Where was he? Did you guys see that? There he is. President Trump says, was just briefed on the shooting at YouTube's HQ in San Bruno, California. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved. Thank you to our phenomenal law enforcement officers and first responders that are currently on the scene.
Thanks, Donut. Keep your head up.
And not only that, after they left the building as well, we had a witness share some video with us just a short time ago, and I posted it on Twitter and on Facebook, that shows the employees coming out of the building with their hands up. So even after you thought you've escaped this, you're still
How many people died? No one confirmed dead yet, but the shooter. They're saying the shooter.
You might have seen some of the video that a photographer.
Shh, be quiet. They're saying that the shooter killed. What did Trump say? I just read it. I'll say it again. They're confirming the shooter killed herself, and that's the only person confirmed dead, but her boyfriend is in critical condition right now. Let's go up. What did Trump say? Trump said was just briefed on the shootings at YouTube's HQ in San Bruno, California. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved. Thank you to our phenomenal
You think the motive will be
law
released,
enforcement
Donut?
orders. Excuse me. Thank you to our phenomenal law enforcement officers and first responders that are currently on the scene. You only come to my channel for major news updates. Well, a good thing about my channel
of the campus
also,
and I want to point
We
out
need
that,
more
we're not trying to
MCI
show
drills
anything
at this
disturbing or
rate.
I'm about to turn those off.
But in our chopper shot to the left, where you saw those pink or red.
They don't have anything new to say. They've been spouting the same stuff for 30 minutes. The cool thing about coming to my channel for stuff like this also, guys, is I am heavily embedded in the law enforcement community, and I have friends out there I'm waiting to hear back from. Like I said, we may not hear back from them because they're dealing with this situation right now. Hey, look, a Bearcat.
Who this person
Police
is
don't need
and,
armored
what
vehicles.
happened.
But yeah, I'm pretty good at finding the information when it's released, and use that little trick I just showed you guys about Twitter. Anytime something like this happens, go to Twitter, and you can usually find people on the ground. And that's way better information than what these people in suits will tell you.
Suspect must have had a 5-pound bucket of rocks.
To assist employees.
Come on, man. Don't make
in
jokes
the next
right now.
Days on where they might
People could be dead.
To check in, and also any opportunity to get
You don't have to listen to someone ram their politics down your throat either. Did you guys hear the news? The news guy, when we first turned the live broadcast on, he said another mass shooting in America. I'm not going to sit here and ram the way I feel down your throats, guys. I'm not going to use this to push any kind of agenda. Obviously, I'm pro-gun, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, there would have been this and this and this and this. No, man. We're just looking at the raw information right now, trying to figure out what's going on.
Again, though, the chief
That's all I really care about.
Giving further information about
how am I? I'm good. I'm good.
Weapon was used, but as you mentioned, Ken, the ATF is there. They'll be tracking.
That sound not good.
The
I don't like seeing people get hurt like this,
that
man.
gun over the last couple of days. Was it registered to anyone? Was it legally owned? And did the woman allegedly involved in all of this, was it her gun, and exactly how she got to the headquarters.
Corey, thanks, guys. Thanks for all the super chats, guys.
Witnesses are telling Jesse that she perhaps came there with an intent to do some harm. Witnesses telling Jesse that the suspected shooter in this, the woman involved, apparently shot her boyfriend, who was a YouTube employee, before killing herself.
Yeah, that goes to the motive, but again, authorities have not said anything about that. All they've confirmed is that the shooter was a woman. They have not made any connection between that shooter and anyone else.
I think she was right there where all those red,
shot
like
and injured. So that's
the lunch
what
area.
Police are telling us.
I think that's where the body was
that
they showed us earlier.
That woman targeted her boyfriend at the YouTube campus. That needs to be confirmed.
I don't know.
And we need to dig
That's
into
the next piece of information I'm looking forward to hear about is what kind of weapon it was and if it was hers. Am I streaming on Twitch? No. If I stream this on Twitch, there's a good chance that I could get my partnership taken away.
Exactly what happened here and make identity of who that person is.
And when you know now that the suspected shooter was found in that area outside.
More of an attempted murder than a mass shooting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 1911, 45. That's not confirmed yet. Come on.
Some of the activity wasn't taking
Shooter's deceased. I know that.
But rather outside. So they heard at least
gun
one
free
witness
zone.
telling
Yeah.
our Jesse Gary that he heard 3 separate bursts of gunfire. One sort of rapid pop, 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 a pause, another set of gunfire, another pause, and then a few more gunshots. And he also described
YouTube taxes super chats at 30%. Crime of passion, mental instability. I live in the Bay Area, and in my opinion, the Second Amendment doesn't exist here. First responders are amazing. Peace and love. Bay Area newscasters, meh. YouTube taxes super chats at 30%.
I didn't know that.
Or a rifle, but if it's 7 shots and then
Is it true 10 are injured? I
you would
don't
think maybe
know.
that was the time that it reloaded.
There's 3 at
because
the
then
hospital
there
who
more
were
shots that
seriously
followed after
injured.
that. So these are all
But
questions that are going to have to
one
be
of them's
answered as
stabilized, one of
authorities
them's in
continue to
critical,
through
and one
this.
of
And
them's
as the police chief
serious.
told us that 3 people were injured and are being
there you
treated
go.
for their gunshot wounds. Let's
The
now
news
go
is right
to
about
KTV's
something.
Paul Chambers, where at San Francisco General they are treating 3 people, guessing that it probably
There's the
is
guy
the
at the
3 people
hospital.
that the chief was referring to. And Paul, any new information regarding the status of that 37-year-old man who is in critical condition?
Heather, no update on his condition right now, but I do need to change. He's actually 36 years old.
Okay.
We were first given misinformation there, but he's 36. We do know that he's in critical condition. And also, we just got word about 10 minutes ago about the status of everyone and explanation on exactly why the hospital is on lockdown.
The hospital's on
So
lockdown?
we've
That's new.
received 3 patients so far from the incident at
That's
the
at lockdown, right?
YouTube headquarters in San Bruno.
Reports say
2
that San
females
Fran
and 1
Airport is
male.
on lockdown. It's really close
We have
to
a
the headquarters.
32-year-old female who's in serious condition right now, a 27-year-old female in fair condition, and a 36-year-old male in critical condition.
I think that's the boyfriend.
We're expecting additional patients.
Thanks, Mally.
How many more? Don't know. We don't know how many additional patients we're going to get.
I heard the emergency ward was on lockdown. What was that all about?
Lockdown just means that we close access to the emergency department to everyone except patients. That's all it means. It doesn't mean we're closed.
Everyone except who?
Patients. Yes.
Still lockdown?
As far as I know, we are still on lockdown, yes.
Is that standard? Like, when does that normally happen?
It's standard for multiple casualty incidents like this, yes.
One more time, can you just tell us what you guys received and who they were?
So we've received 3 patients so far, 2 females and 1 male. We have 1 person in critical condition, 1 in serious condition, and 1 in fair condition.
Critical is the male, correct?
Correct.
1 woman isn't serious, 1 woman isn't fair?
That's correct.
Their ages 32, 27, and what?
And 36.
36 was critical?
36 is critical. That's the male.
All right, so that's probably the boyfriend is in critical condition.
You mean what parts of their bodies? Yes, but I can't share that at this moment.
When you say you're expecting more people, are you expecting more people in critical condition or serious condition, or do we know?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know the conditions of the people we expect. At 3:30 this afternoon, we're going to convene again. I'll bring a trauma surgeon from our trauma practice here to explain in greater depth what the injuries are and what the conditions of the patients are.
All right.
Now, that'll be a half an hour from now, and of course, we'll bring that to you.
All right. I'm probably going to jump off before then. Because
We wouldn't go exactly say exactly.
the only thing that I
what the
really, really
condition
care about
was.
is the type of weapon.
Trauma unit,
I want to see what that
bullets
is.
and their gunshots. He kinda
Any
said basically you put it together, but he couldn't
tactical
officially
medic
tell us
Leos
what
out there?
So,
You mean in
trauma
chat?
unit, gunshots,
I mean, I know they
usually
exist
work
because we
about the
had,
same
when
thing.
I was on
That's why
SWAT,
we
we
absolutely
had,
that's in critical condition. But of course we'll have
you know, we had medics. We had
detailed
EMTs,
information about that
SWAT
coming up, and
EMTs.
We'll have that confirmed by the doctors exactly what kind of wounds these people are.
Can I
suffering.
recap what has
All
happened?
right, Paul, thank you. And of course,
A woman walked into YouTube headquarters, shot her boyfriend, shot 2 other women. They were all taken to the hospital. There's reported other people injured, but not seriously. Then the female shooter turned the gun on herself and killed herself. And she's laying under a yellow tarp right around here. If you can, yeah, you can see my mouse. See all the little red umbrellas right there? I think that's where we saw her her body. They had a tarp over it.
than that. So now we're down to 4 victims.
Yes, and perhaps it was just the chaos of the situation in which every hospital was told to be on standby, perhaps given the severity of the critical patient. Obviously, SF General, the closest, has the trauma center, and then maybe the decision was made to just
You guys have any
take all
questions
3
about
of
active
them
shooter
there.
situations?
Want to let you know that President Donald
if you're
Trump
new,
has tweeted in regards to the incident.
All right, I covered it before they did. Look at that. Coming to me for news, guys. If you're new to the stream, I'm Donut. I was a police officer for 3 years. I was on a SWAT team for 2 of those years. I've trained in a lot of active shooter situations and training and stuff like that. I've never been part of one, but I got my level 1 SWAT certification at the Government Training Institute. The instructors were ex-Delta. It was a lot of active shooter stuff covered in that. So if anybody has any active shooter questions about how to deal with these type of situations, let me know.
Positive.
All right, you fuckers. I'm turning off the donation. Well, only 3 years because I wanted to do YouTube full time and other reasons. But I've gotten into that before. I don't want to get into it right now. Greetings from Charleston. What's up, Sir Dank?
They found 2 more victims at nearby
have a beautiful
businesses.
mustache. It's not as big as it used to be.
And that equals the 3 people who are being treated right now at San Francisco General. The most serious, a 36-year-old man.
I do YouTube and Twitch full time now,
condition.
And police are still at the scene. They still say they have to do a methodical search of the YouTube headquarters to find out if there are
what happened, who was shot,
any other suspects,
all right,
shooters involved.
I'll do this every few minutes. I'm getting quicker with it too. A female walked into YouTube headquarters, shot her boyfriend, 2 other women. They were taken to the hospital. Boyfriend's in critical condition. Shooter then turned the gun on herself, killed herself. No one confirmed dead other than the shooter right now. Do an active shooter video on what to do. Yeah, I guess so.
To all of the current employees
this is most
there
people
at
you
the
ever
San
seen in one
Bruno
of my streams.
offices,
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
telling them to continue to shelter in place until
all right,
they
I'm gonna brag on myself a little bit. I'm catching stuff before the people at the news station is.
owning YouTube. YouTube is part of the Alphabet company, and then about a minute later, they
armed
tweeted
guards.
That
confirmed there were no armed guards at the YouTube headquarters.
Or maybe heading to the YouTube headquarters. Perhaps they had meetings later on today. That those have all been canceled. That they are to stay away from the area, and that they have provided employees with a
Mr.
helpline
Batsu, thank you,
as
Josh.
they
I love
try
you
to
too, buddy.
assess this situation, but again, as of about 30 minutes ago, they were telling everyone who was still inside that building.
I'll go over what
to
happened
continue
again here in a
to
minute.
shelter in
But I'm
place.
just kind of
We
looking at
saw tweets
chat.
from
I'm a pretty quick
employees
reader.
Who
I can't read all of
seeing
them.
people
But
running past their desk and that
oh,
they in fact
man.
barricaded inside various rooms.
How long do I think it'll take them to sweep the building? They're probably already done with it now.
Interesting development in all of this is the motive
you
for
saw.
the shooter. What makes this more unusual than
Hold on. Motive? I heard
most
motive.
of these mass shootings that unfortunately we seem to be going through a lot of the last few years is that this is a woman. I mean, we have had female shooters before.
We were discussing it earlier.
It is more
Tell me who were the
unusual,
female shooters.
to have that.
Who
so
was
let's go to
it? Who was it,
KTVU's Jesse
newsman?
Gary. He has some more information for
Hold
us.
on, more
Jesse.
information, guys. It's going to be the same stuff. Watch.
Well, police are continuing to remove some of their equipment. The coroner just arrived a short time ago.
Oh, the coroner's here. Guys, remember the coroner.
Down to the crime
coroner
scene.
is
So
there for dead
that's
bodies,
here
in case you guys didn't know what a coroner was.
Process the scene, the shooting scene, and then remove the body of what we believe to be the shooter, the female shooter who injured at least 4 other people in this. So that happened just within the past couple of minutes. Coroner wouldn't give us any information. Obviously, she's just getting here and has to begin the investigation. But just so you know, the coroner is here, and they
Can I
are
cuss? Fuck yeah, I can cuss.
beginning the process of
My channel. I
processing
can do what
the
I
actual
want.
shooting scene, getting evidence, and then they'll remove the remains, guys.
It's going to get demonetized anyways.
Yes, we had seen early
So I can
on
curse.
that body covered with a yellow tarp there. Near what seems to be maybe an outdoor courtyard, an outdoor cafe there on the campus of the headquarters.
Okay, so it was by
Jesse,
the little,
have you had an opportunity
the little
to
red
talk with anyone
umbrellas
else, any other witnesses,
talking
any
about.
YouTube employees
A lover spat,
about
that's what we
they
were
saw and
thinking.
what they heard?
No, the employees aren't here. They've
Twitter's
been,
saying they had
taken
found a
away
handgun
from
at
the
the
scene.
scene?
I have talked to some other employees who worked not for YouTube,
All right,
just
I'm gonna
from other companies who are.
All right, my little trick I was talking about earlier, guys, is when an active shooter or any kind of situation like this happens, you go to Twitter and type in wherever the location is or any relevant information. For instance, we're searching YouTube right now, and you can usually get information on the ground, video, pictures. That's where I get a lot of my stuff from and get the news of what's happening out quick. Twitter, because people on the ground will give you some good video, good pictures. We haven't seen much of it right now.
Obviously not the YouTube building, but the Walmart building, which is across the street and off to my left. They're starting to let their workers back in if those workers do in fact want to come back in, guys.
Google Communication reply to YouTube situation. We are coordinating with authorities and will provide official information here. Oh.
Right. Well, and Ken, I talked to a couple of employees for.
All right, be quiet. We were talking earlier about, someone said, how quick do you think they cleared the building? They probably cleared it pretty quick. You saw the Bearcat sitting outside. There were probably multiple SWAT teams that responded from the surrounding areas. You saw about 100 police cars out there. First responders were there in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Good stuff, man. So, do I know which gun? They haven't said which gun yet. We're trying to find that. That's the most important thing.
Office park here in San Bruno on the peninsula. Nobody wants to go back to work. You just want to get as far away from this kind of violence as possible.
Yeah, a little hard to focus when something like this happens. You just want to go home and hug your loved ones and, you know, thank God that you're okay and you made it through it. So, thank you, Jesse.
Want to read now a tweet from Apple CEO Tim Cook. He says, from everyone at Apple, we send our sympathy and support to the team at YouTube and Google, especially the victims and their families. So obviously a lot of people,
the little evidence tags right there?
Lawmakers. We've heard from Senator Dianne
probably
Feinstein,
over shell casings.
from Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. We've heard from President Trump.
Yeah, like I said, those are probably over shell casings. One of them's probably the gun. One of them's probably shell casings. There's those studs right there that showed up within 2 minutes. Just to go over what happened again. Woman walked into YouTube headquarters, shot her boyfriend, shot 2 other women. They were taken to the hospital. One's in serious condition, one's in critical condition. That's the boyfriend. And one is in stable condition. There are more people being taken to the hospital. I'm guessing it's not serious because they didn't rush them there like those 3 people. The shooter is confirmed dead. That's her under the tarp right there. She popped herself with whatever gun she used to shoot her boyfriend. I don't know what they're doing right there.
And they describe being outside the building, but
I guess that's like a little,
hearing it. Now you understand exactly what they were talking about.
Oh, there's
take a look at that shattered window. That also gives you an indication.
Probably a little trauma center they set up real quick to bring people to.
Responder being treated perhaps for some breathing issues. This looks like a little triage area.
A little triage. That's the word I was looking for. There's where the news beats me. The words, because words are hard for me. You know, you guys know that. Steamboat, you got it. Triage. That was the one I was looking for.
Particularly firefighters and.
That's the only. I swear to God, that's the only thing the news can beat me at, though. Words. Words are hard, guys.
They get overheated sometimes.
We're just waiting for more details. I want to know what the gun is.
It looks like that could be what's going on here.
Oh, he probably overheated.
It looks like there's a firefighter who's sitting on the curb. With a mask on, who is getting some oxygen to recover from that and resting up a little bit. So that's a long, hard.
Well, you got to think. Look at all that heavy shit that the firefighters wear, and they'll sit there and wear it for hours, man. Might have overheated a little bit. Those dang words. Oh, NBC News, thanks for reporting this. I didn't know that happened.
Not a whole lot of detail.
All right, let me check. Hold on, let me check my law enforcement groups real quick and see if there's any more information.
Timeline of when the calls were first reported, to when officers arrived, to when those victims were found, to when the suspected shooter's body was found. But no other information really beyond that. We did hear on police.
Why was that? What does that do with anything?
A chick shot her BF who survived and then herself. If media somehow spins this against NRA or white males, the split between right and left will grow exponentially. You can't ban crazy bitches. They are a forever problem.
Come on, man.
Oh, Benjamin soft target. Pistol.
Let me turn those off. I usually leave those on when I stream video games on Twitch.
But again, no official confirmation from authorities.
Looks like I'm going to have to turn them off right now.
It's 3:10, coming up on 3:10 in the afternoon. For those of you who are just joining us, the very latest is that the shooter apparently died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It is a female, and you are looking at a live
I'm turning those off right now.
Firefighters gather around first responder who's getting some treatment. Appears to be.
Buddy told you a pistol was recovered. All right.
Breath. But as that person is getting treated, we want to take you to the news conference that took place about a half hour or so ago from San Bruno's police chief. Here's what he had to say about what happened at the YouTube headquarters earlier this afternoon.
At 12:46 p.m. this afternoon, San Bruno Police Department received numerous 911 calls regarding gunshots at the YouTube campus located on Cherry Avenue in our city. San Bruno Police arrived on scene at 12:48. And,
no, I don't see any more information.
Began a search for a possible shooter or suspect. Upon arrival, officers encountered numerous employees fleeing from the building. It was very chaotic, as you can imagine. We did encounter one victim with an apparent gunshot wound towards the front of the business as we arrived. Several minutes later, while conducting a search of the premises, officers located a second individual with a gunshot wound that appears to may have been
shooting
self-inflicted. Spree. We are still working on
4
confirming
injured,
that.
1 killed.
2 additional victims were located several minutes later. at an adjacent business. The extent of all of the injuries of our victims are unknown right now. They were all transported for emergency medical care.
It's a lot of people pushing their agendas,
unknown.
man.
So if I missed that, we have 4 victims who have all been transported for gunshot-related injuries, and we have 1 subject who is deceased inside the building with a self-inflicted wound that at this time
people are dicks.
We believe to be the
There's
shooter, but we're still following up on that.
Alex Jones, let's see what Alex Jones has to say about it.
Multiple law enforcement agencies have responded to assist. We're very grateful for everyone's help and
Alex
assistance.
Jones
We could not have responded and accomplished this without everybody's help. This is an active
YouTube has grass on the roof. I saw that.
And numerous law enforcement personnel from numerous different local agencies are still conducting a search of the business just to make sure that it is clear. We conducted a quick, immediate search of the premises when the first officers arrived as pursuant to our active shooter protocol. And after that search was concluded, now we're going through with a methodical, slow search just to make sure that we cover all the bases. That's all I have.
That's
for
Alex
you at this
Jones
time.
calling it fake, yeah,
We
right.
hope to have something a little later. I cannot give you, I cannot give you the time of the next press update, but we'll put that out as soon as we have that information.
You were saying.
I'm sorry?
There were not 2 shooters. Okay, guys. I don't know what. There's not much more information we can find out now, other than what kind of gun it was that I think is important. Hope everyone's okay. I know the boyfriend's in critical condition. Hope he pulls through. But other than that, man, I don't know what else we could learn from this. It could be helpful information. If you're just jumping in, I'll say it one more time. Hold on just a second. Thomas Wood, thank you very much, man. Female walked into YouTube headquarters, shot her boyfriend, shot 2 other women. They were taken to the hospital. The boyfriend's in critical condition. One of the women is in serious condition. The shooter then turned the gun on herself and killed herself. That was her under the yellow tarp outside in like the little patio area, the little dining area. Other than that, there are a few more people with minor injuries are being taken to the hospital. So domestic violence could possibly be. Damn, Mark. Thank you, bud. If you go over to Twitter, this is what we were talking about. People are already using this to push their political agendas. Jesus, man. People are already making fun of it. The whole demonetization thing and the whole, YouTube banning the gun thing because they banned a lot of gun content from YouTube 2 days ago, but it had nothing to do with that. It looks like a lover spat. Fox Frenzy, no. For the last time, maybe some of you are being serious about it. I know a lot of you are joking, but no, it's not someone that got their videos demonetized and walked in and started shooting the place up. It sounds like a girlfriend who was mad at her boyfriend, and she chose a very bad way to go about handling that situation. Was the shooter the only victim? The shooter is the only one deceased that we know of right now. Shot herself in the head. Or, sorry, excuse me, shot herself. I don't know where she shot herself.
Several hundred, a few hundred. I'm sorry, a few hundred. It was my understanding. I don't know.
Am I really surprised about the spin doctors being instantly used in this situation? No, I'm not surprised, man. Anytime anything like this happens, people are going to turn it and try to push their own bullshit. How much does SWAT gear cost per person? Ryder says it depends on the what you want for your SWAT team. Every single agency is different. Whereas my department might have $5,000 worth of equipment. On us, there are bigger departments that might have $10,000 worth of equipment. It depends on their budget and how much they're willing to spend on the SWAT team. Look at my Twitter mentions. Are you guys doing some tweets about me?
I don't want to give you a time because I may not have a lot for you. So when we can identify a time that's appropriate to come back and update you again, we'll do that immediately.
Witness on scene at the YouTube shooting says he wishes he had a gun on him during the shooting. Huh.
I don't have any information regarding that right now.
Something about police had to borrow. Oh, that makes sense. Police had to borrow badges to enter certain parts of the building. That makes sense.
We're not even at that point yet. We're still trying to address the situation in front of us.
What's the gun?
Okay, I will get you some more information in a few minutes.
Okay, so there's the San Bruno police chief outlining exactly what they are able to confirm at this time, and that is that there are 3 shooting victims. All 3 of those victims that we know of are being treated at San Francisco General. This according to our Paul Chambers, who spoke with officials at San Francisco General a short time ago. 2 of them are women, a 37-year-old and a 32-year-old.
All right, there's nothing
those
new. Someone asked, Master Chief asked, what equipment, weapons did I carry when I was on the SWAT team?
A 36-year-old.
As far as weapons went, I was the shotgun guy. So I had a shotgun on my back that had pepper spray rounds in it and CS gas rounds in it. I had my Daniel Defense rifle. I think it was a 16-inch barrel. It was AR platform. So 5.56. As far as armor goes, I wish we wanted just the plates on our chest, but we had to wear like the large armor vest with the shoulders and the crotch protection and the neck protection. Helmets, of course, and then and Glock 22 40 caliber on a leg holster. So
about what happens now. The building has been cleared. There are no more employees inside the YouTube.
The shotgun with CS gas rounds in it. You guys were talking about, or you guys are probably asking about that. Is if they're like, say, if we're clearing a house and someone runs into a like a bathroom or something real quick, or a closet, then I would take that shotgun and I would stick it in the corner of the door, aiming up, and I would pump CS gas into the room, so they would come out real quick. Did I have to buy my vest as a cop? No.
Before they allow employees back in the building.
Handgun was recovered.
It's going to be shut down for some
handguns
hours
recovered.
through the night while they do that search, and then we'll see what happens.
Why wouldn't a large company have armed security? Ashton asks.
To its normal operations.
I'm sure we'll find out within the next few days.
Right now is if you're looking at these.
I bet California's going to tighten their gun law, so even more than they already are. How did my Easter go? Easter was pretty good, man. Took John out to hunt the Easter eggs. He got some presents from the Easter Bunny. It's a pretty good time. What time is it there? Where I'm at, it's about 6:30. About dinner time. So I'm probably going to get off here soon because there's not too much we can talk about.
The shooter, died of a
female active shooter. The last time that there was a female active shooter in a large incident like this was San Bernardino in 2015. Where her and her husband started shooting up their Christmas party. If you guys remember that, police, our SWAT responded with some militarized vehicles. Oh, there goes the live stream. Live stream's cutting out. They don't have anything important to say anyways right now. Do I get to own my service weapon? No, I mean, no. Like when I left the police department, I don't get to take stuff with me. I wish I could have taken that Daniel Defense rifle with me. That would have been nice. I said it's almost 6:30. Brandon, you dweebs. Would I recommend Daniel Defense rifles? I sure did like the one I had, man. I don't know the exact model. It was a 16-inch barrel. I know that. 16 or 18. I don't know. It was an awesome gun. They're supposed to have another update from the hospital in 11 minutes on the victims. We'll hang out and see if we can hear an update on the victims, because I mean that's the biggest thing I'm worried about right now. Hospital's gonna make a statement. Yeah, we'll hang out for a minute. We'll just I'll talk to you guys. You guys got any more questions about like active shooters, SWAT stuff, police stuff, anything like that? This is domestic violence all day long. Could be. You know, it depends on the state, though. I don't know what California's like, but in South Carolina, it's not domestic violence unless the two live together, they're actually married by law, or they share kids in common. Like if it was just a boyfriend and girlfriend that don't live together and they started punching the shit out of each other, then it would be assault. It wouldn't be DV. Great reporting, Don't forget the people making a joke or political issue out of this. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Do I think Daniel Defense will be negatively, what'd you say? Hold on, sorry. Negatively affected by their stance on gun control measures? I haven't seen Daniel Defense's stance on gun control measures. You would think that they wouldn't have much of a stance on it.
Just a few feet away, the shooter then apparently took her own life. We also heard the police chief talk about wanting to interview about 100 or so.
What's a Bearcat? It's a type of armored vehicle that police officers use, that SWAT teams use. It's the ones that people say are tanks. Oh, video gun restrictions coming. If they can make them any tighter than they already have. Everything's the DV in California? Okay. She used a handgun or rifle, someone just asked. The shooter in this situation, they're saying that she used a handgun. It's not confirmed. They're in support of gun control measures. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to look that up, Deadly. Thanks for telling me about that. Could I do a video on what civilians can do in an active shooter situation? That's a pretty good idea. Have my police buddies given any info? No, I haven't heard anything back from them. At this point, there's really not much more they could say to me.
More details on the injuries that those three people have. The most serious is a 36-year-old man who is in critical condition from his gunshot wounds.
And as we take a live look now at the
So where's call police officer go to, in my opinion? Officer down.
in this area, the headquarters involves a couple of buildings actually. It's a fairly large.
If you had to buy equipment for your department, would you write it off or what? I would think you could. Shooter dead. Shooter is dead. Shooter killed herself. Just care what's going on. Active shooter walked in the YouTube headquarters, shot her boyfriend, shot 2 other women. They're all alive right now as far as we know, but in bad condition. Killed herself. They're saying it was a pistol. Do you think having armed guards would have made a difference in this case? Yeah. It's a soft target, man. It's hard to get on the SWAT team. It depends on what agency you work for. Every single SWAT team at every agency has different requirements to get on the SWAT team. What about the gun? We're trying to figure that one out. They're about to do a conference on the condition of the 3 people who were taken there. How long was I caught for? 3 years. I didn't do it for very long. But from what I did do, it gives me a little bit more knowledge than the average bear on police tactics and things like this. And I have a level one SWAT certification from the Government Training Institute. I was trained by former Delta guys. How do I feel about the jokes about the YouTube HQ shooting? It's terrible, man. Why would you joke about this? I think joking is just as bad as people trying to push their politics on people all of a sudden. You know, like someone said earlier, the bodies aren't even cold yet. As a cop, can you use your own AR-15/Glock? Depends on what agency you work for. Different policies for different agencies. Everything's different. I did not retire. You can't retire after 3 years. I resigned. I left on good terms for my agency. Mike Powers. I'll check him out, man. Bob Lindsay. Okay. Yeah, I'm ex-military too. I was in the Navy for 5 years. All right. I don't see how they can just talk in circles like this. It would drive me crazy. Why did I leave? I wanted to do YouTube full-time, and now I do YouTube full-time. Other reasons too, but I'm not getting into that right now. Left on good terms, though, I'll tell you that. Loved my agency, loved where I worked, left on good terms. How long did it take me to get on the SWAT team? With my military experience, well, it usually takes, for my agency, the policy was 2 years, but with my military experience, they let me on it after a year. What about gallows humor? Would that apply? Yeah, but most people commenting on this aren't doing it because of gallows humor.
A couple of gunshots, a pause, several more gunshots fired, another pause, and then another sudden burst of gunshot he described coming across
Navy gay.
As we heard from the police chief, at least.
Do you think YouTube was prepared for something like this? Absolutely not. What, I show my Facebook? Everybody knows my name. It's not hard to find me. You guys keep sending me friend requests like I'm going to accept them.
Screen. They also reported that a couple of people came running into their business too, Ken, with indications that they were.
What's SWAT training like? Fun.
Well, according to the person who told us about that, they said that one person was skimmed by a bullet in the head, another person was shot in the ankle, and the third was shot in the hand. But all of these are going to have to be kind of.
Is that like serving in the Navy?
To see which different victims we're talking about, because that's 3 victims at Hashes and Brew. We have reports of at least 1 person shot in the leg or the foot.
Guys, stop targeting
Evo. That showed up. But in any event, people were fleeing
Ellis,
from the YouTube
looks
headquarters,
like you're
running for
a
safety
petty officer.
in the closest places
where, your little picture
they could find help.
What's a Navy SEAL? No.
And,
I tried.
Give it to the
tried to be a
people
Navy
who
SEAL.
were there. They stepped up. And
my time in the Navy was really weird. So I never touched a boat. I spent 2 years as an avionics electronic technician. Then I spent 1 year auxiliary security on Norfolk. Then I spent 2 years training to go to BUDS, which is SEAL school. I was on a program called the NUG program. It's the new Useless Guy program on Little Creek. I did that for a long time, and then ultimately went to BUDS. Ended up hurting myself. Started feeling sorry for myself, and didn't make it. Did I ever go to China Lake? I didn't go to China Lake. I was at Lemoore for a while, which was awful.
For what happened
I never touched a boat in the Navy. Yeah. Okay. I won't say any boat. I did boat patrol when I was auxiliary security.
Who were most involved in this, if you will, are being they were taken off of the campus.
Rec Pro, we're not playing Sovereign Citizen Bingo right now, damn it.
Secured location. The police chief we heard a short time ago said that there were about
Oh, your sub guy. You know what they say about submarines, right? Is 50 men go down, 25 couples come up. What was my pay grade? I got E4 before I got out. I only did 5 years because I had a conditional contract that said either I become a SIL or I get out. So they had to honor the contract after I got out of BUDS.
Communication. Did she say anything to him or anyone else? There are questions.
We're not getting any more information on this, guys. I'm probably going to jump off and go make some food. Oh, John. Logie Brogie. Yeah? You want to say hey to a few thousand people before I get off here? How much ammo did I carry as a SWAT officer? 4, I think 4 mags, and of course a mag and the gun. How did I get on the SWAT team? I tried out for it. Oh shit! Hold on. Hold on, John. Hold on.
From this incident.
Hold on just a minute, John.
We have 2 females and 1 male. The females are ages 32. That patient is in serious condition. We have a 27-year-old female in fair condition. And we have a 36-year-old male who is in critical condition.
That's the boyfriend.
As I said, we do not expect additional patients from this incident.
Oh, they said they did expect additional patients in the last briefing.
I will give you further updates tonight if there are significant updates to be given. If not, I will give you a full update tomorrow morning. The San Bruno Police Department, in partnership with YouTube, are setting up a family reunification center. And you can contact the San Bruno Police Department for information about that. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Andre Campbell.
All
right. Who's been a trauma surgeon here at Zuckerberg San Francisco General.
I'll go over what happened
years.
after
He's going to,
the doctor speaks.
Discuss with you the types of injuries we've seen and the effects of those injuries.
I do know Officer 401.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Andre Campbell. I'm a trauma surgeon here at the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital. Once again, we are confronted with the specter of mass casualty situation here in the city and county of San Francisco, where we've now had 3 victims who have come in that we've taken care of. This is unfortunate, and it continues. We think that after we've seen Las Vegas, Parkland, the Pulse nightclub shooting,
really,
that we would see an end to this, but we have not.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, doctor.
But I'll just say a couple things first of all.
All right, we got the doctor.
General Hospital, Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital.
We got the doctor pushing his politics instead of giving us an update on the victims.
In San Francisco.
Thanks, Doc.
But it means that we receive all the victims who get injured, and these victims came from just south of San Francisco, which is part of our catchment area.
Really?
But we stand ready 24/7 to care for anyone who is injured, whether it's from gunshot wounds today, from falls, from car accidents,
Dude,
from
shut your
all
mouth
the other things that we do regularly here at the
Zuckerberg
San Francisco General Hospital. So
well, I know, what was that about,
activated,
man?
And when we get activated here, when you have a mass casualty situation, what happens is all the doctors, the nurses, the therapists come down to the emergency room. We do an assessment and we do a triage, working with everyone, and we're able then to deal with all the patients that we had. and we're able to diagnose their problems, treat them, and make sure they get appropriate care. I can't tell you all the specific injuries, but I can.
I just want to point out, I know what doctors do.
People are shot either in extremities.
I'm pretty sure you guys know what doctors do.
They have significant injuries from gunshots. We've seen a lot of injuries from handguns. We've seen injuries from AK-47s or AR-15s. These are not those today, as far as we know, right? But what happens is that when they get shot, it creates a major crisis. What happens is,
hey, guys, do you know when people get shot that it causes a major crisis? The trauma
system starts with the care that the patients receive in the field from our dedicated paramedics. They bring the patients.
Does this guy think we're all stupid?
Police have secured the scene, which they did. Once they come in, then we do an assessment working with the trauma surgeons, the ED physicians, the nurses, and the anesthesiologists. We all get together. We do what is right for the patients. So we basically go through things from top to bottom, making sure we diagnose their injuries, and we take care of them. That's what we do here at the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, the only trauma center in San Francisco. So I'll just tell you that that's what we do. That is what has happened, and I'll begin to answer the questions that you have. But once again, hold on. Once again, this is a terrible day in the United States. When once again we have a
can we hear if they're okay or not?
That has confronted us here at the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital.
Can you confirm that these are gunshot victims?
Yes. Yeah, and they're gunshot victims.
And what kind of? Do you have any indication of what kind of gunshots?
I don't have indication for that.
And can you tell us the nature of the wounds?
They
no, I can't tell you the details of each of the wounds. I can just tell you what he told you about the injuries.
But you have ruled out automatic, semi-automatic weapons.
I have not ruled out anything because I asked the people.
Did you hear what he just asked?
I thought you said there was no AK-47 or.
You could tell me that. I don't know that.
Doctor, what does critical mean?
Critical means that the chance that they could die.
Right. Have you ruled out their fully automatic, semi-automatic wounds? Did you guys hear that?
So usually stable means that they have minor injuries, right? Critical means that they've had more life-threatening injuries, either truncal injuries or extremity injuries. Truncal means the chest and abdomen and this area here or the head, right? So that means that they've had some kind of penetrating injury there, and then it sort of goes. So then critical means that they've had injuries where they've sustained a blood loss related to some of the injuries that they've had.
So critical,
dude,
it's really for you guys. We do that, right?
So can you tell us?
For us, everybody gets shot is critical.
You
right?
can't tell us where the gunshot was.
No, I can't. That would be violate HIPAA. Would you want me to do that?
Absolutely not.
You want me to do that?
No, absolutely.
You have to behave today.
Yeah.
Are these patients
what a
stable?
dick!
Yeah. I know. He told you where the conditions are.
Did you guys hear that?
Dr. Campbell, why do you think that there's not going to be a significant change between now and the scene of the
Say again. Why is what?
Why do you think there is not going to be a significant change in their condition between now and later tonight? Brett said maybe if there is a change, we'll come back and update you. We're not necessarily confident.
Everyone in this room is now dumber from having heard that. May God have mercy on your soul. That's what comes to mind when I hear him speak now.
When things change, they change from moment to moment. So right now we've stabilized the condition. We put the patient in the appropriate place. They can start to bleed. And they start to bleed, then we have to operate on them. We have to do other things to do them. And that's basically our best guess right now. But it can change at any moment.
Has he even said what condition they're in? He explained what the conditions were. He explained that gunshot wounds are bad, and he also explained that there are a lot of mass shootings happening in America. But has he said anything about?
They're not in surgery yet.
Are their families by their side?
There it is.
I don't know that.
They're not in surgery yet.
No.
They're not going into surgery.
They're not going to surgery?
Not right now.
Are these patients awake? Are they aware of what happened?
Yes, they are.
If they're not going into the surgery, it must have not been that bad.
Did they say anything you can relate to us, sir?
I don't know.
Anything you can describe about their reaction?
No, other than shocked like we are every time these terrible things happen.
Can you tell us the process of whenever you guys receive a patient of this level, what's your process? What do you guys get into?
Okay, so just a little bit of education for a moment. So what happens is, sorry about that, every time someone comes in, we use these techniques called advanced trauma life support, which has been pioneered for the last 30 or 40 years. Right, basically what we do is we go from top to bottom to do an assessment. We look at their airway, whether or not they're breathing, right, whether or not
all right, so
the airway, if they're breathing in and out, they're breathing.
Shut up. What he, we're gonna leave it up a little bit. What he said is that they are not going. They are not going into surgery right now. I can't listen to this guy anymore though, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go make dinner.
Part of the body to make sure. Then we basically do a secondary survey. We go from top to bottom, looking at every detail.
Is this doctor even in the same state? Is he even a doctor? Oh my God, dude. He said, okay, so they're not going into surgery. That's what he said.
It's called advanced
I
trauma life
don't
support,
know.
which is a way that everybody takes care of trauma patients when they're injured. This is the
I
standard
have
that's
lost
done
some
at every
IQ
major trauma center
listening
around
to
the
him
United
speak.
States. Does that answer your question?
He's an asshole too,
How many
man.
what?
Shots. Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know that number. I don't know the number.
Just want to confirm again to you, they have not been in surgery?
They have not been in surgery.
And can you specify or be more, tell us why they have not been in surgery? Or is that too much information to give?
That's too much information. You guys always want to do that. Like,
Yeah, we do. We get as
Why
much
do you got to
as we
do
can.
that? You just like
We
ask the
do.
same question. You're almost like lawyers.
The ethnicity of the patient.
No, I can't.
Based on the blood.
All right, so
Do you have an idea of what sort of firearm was
he's
No,
the
I don't.
trauma surgeon there, but he can't tell you how many holes they have in them.
Just to be clear, were all three victims, victims of gunshot wounds, or were there any?
Yeah, they were victims of gunshot wounds.
But you can't count how many holes are in them.
Multiple times,
They had multiple injuries.
but you can't confirm if they have multiple gunshots.
No, I can't confirm that.
When you say they, does that mean every individual person had multiple injuries?
Every person was shot who was here today. We have 3 victims. They all were shot.
But when you say they had multiple injuries, does that mean each person had multiple injuries?
Well, if you have 2 holes, that means you have multiple injuries, right?
Each one of them?
Yes.
So no one was shot once. Each person was shot more than once?
I don't think I can say that.
Is there a sense why one is critical, the other is fair, and the other is just serious? I mean, would that be proximity to the
Thanks, Jana.
to the shooter?
Mr. Prim will do these
I
things.
can't make that conclusion. I can just tell you that from what I see, because of the injuries the patient has, that they are critical. I know you want to know more details, but I can't give you any more.
So it's HIPAA? Someone said it's HIPAA. It's HIPAA. He can't tell us the number of times they were shot, but he can tell us that they were shot.
Originally, what happens is whenever these mass casualty situations happen, there's a lot of confusion, and you guys are maybe part of it. Right? We may be part of it, and other people are part of it.
He just said the
And what
media is
happens
part of the
We're
confusion.
told that we have X amount of victims. So we were originally told we were
Oh,
going to get 4
man.
victims, we only got 3. But we get ready for as many as we have to take care of. That's kind of what we do. We get ready for everyone else. We mobilize all
That
the
is
teams
HIPAA.
that need
How
to be
many
done to make
bullet
sure we're
holes
ready
they
to
have
take
is
care of
HIPAA. Okay.
Any patient who's injured, and that's what any trauma center does when we get a call.
He's just
that we
not
have
very
a
good at
mass
deflecting
casualty incident
questions.
Or more than one patient coming in. But the reality is,
Dr.
that
Dre would do a
last
better
week we had a
job.
mass casualty situation here. The week before we had another.
All
I
right.
didn't see all these cameras out here today. Those last week when I was here, right, I didn't see that. Right, so that's the problem, right? When something like this happens, which
grandstanding
is
again?
terribly unfortunate, then you guys come out. But the reality is we have to deal with this all the time. We have to deal with the families, the injuries. We have to deal with this constantly. And it's quite unfortunate, right? Because everybody gets hurt. It's important that we make sure we take care of them. We do the best we can for everyone every day.
All right.
Speaking of families, sir, are the families of the victims here?
I don't know that.
Is the emergency area still under lockdown? Do you know that part?
It is.
It's still under lockdown.
How long will it remain that way?
All right. Sum it up. It is HIPAA. He just sucks at questions. Okay. I don't know. It got a little. It upset me a little bit about how he didn't get on here and instantly confirm the conditions of the people. I don't want to listen to them anymore. Instantly, right away, confirm the conditions of the people. Instead, he got on here and was like, "This happened at Pulse. This happened at Sandy Hook. This happened at da 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 da. It's got to stop." Or he said something like that. Dude, I wasn't. All right. Well, I'm getting off. I need to go eat some food. That's a gun free zone working, right? John. J-Lo. J-Lo. All right. I thought John wanted to say hey. But do we know what gun was used? They're saying it's a pistol. We knew that one was serious, one was critical. I just wanted to know if they went to... Thanks, Val. I just wanted to know if they went to surgery. I just wanted a little bit more information. I guess he gave us enough. He gave us what he could without violating HIPAA. He was a douche to the reporters, though. I'm not a big fan of reporters either, so... How many deaths? 1 death so far, and it was the shooter. She shot herself. Self-inflicted gunshot wound. So, I'm going to get off here. I'm gonna stop raging on the doctor. Notice that the dog didn't mention the Sutherland Springs shooting. Huh. Where's it streaming from? South Carolina. So I'm going to get off. Hold on just a second, guys. John! Did you want to say hey? Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
I'm getting off. All right. You want to tell everyone bye?
Bye.
All right, guys. I'm going to be getting off of here. And thank you all for watching.
Donut, did you ever go to Israel, and are you planning to?
Israel. I've never been to Israel, and I don't know. It'd be fun to visit one day. I'd like to go all over the place. But yeah, I'm going to get off here, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me while we went over this, got all that new information. Hopefully this worked a little bit better than watching the news. I didn't want to force my politics down your throat like everyone else is trying to do. So, this is my son. He's the coolest kid in the world. So, everyone, please have a fantastic day.